Akeremona for 2018, the former president of the Cameroon Bar Council has announced his candidacy for the 2018 presidential elections. Can this come as a game changer in the Anglophone crisis? Plus, in this edition of the news, Emile Onambele Zibi, former president of Tonekara Club of Yaoundé, is no more. The man who was a signatory to the famous Mfundi Petrac Memorandum died as early as 12:30 a.m. this day. In this edition of the news, we tell you how there have been massive arrests in the two English-speaking regions of the country after October 1. Massive arrests in Mai 16, Mutengene, Munya, and Nimanyu division, precisely in Manfi. I will be right back. Good evening. Thanks for joining me. I am Fohan Sinchanji. You're watching the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinox Television. We are broadcasting live from Douala, Cameroon, Equinox Central News Desk. I told you in the top stories, the former president of the Cameroon Bar Council, Barrister Akeremona, has declared he will be challenging President Paul Biya in the 2018 presidential elections. In a speech made public Sunday, the national and international legal mindset his new Cameroon will be built on federal state, and that his focus will be on women and youth in the society. Take an excerpt of Barrister Akeremona, his declaration speech.
Cameroonians, our country is now at the crossroads of its history. We must now move towards a new republic that finds strength in diversity, a new republic founded on good governance, a new republic built on the rule of law, a new republic inspired by the will of the people, a new republic that is a union we must define. I have therefore taken the decision to be part of the solution that our country is crying out for, the creation of this new republic. It's with a great sense of responsibility and humility that I have decided to inform you of my intention to run for the office of President of the Republic of Cameroon in the elections constitutionally scheduled for 2018. Our union faces serious challenges. Lives have been lost, and many of our fellow citizens have been injured. Our institutions and systems of governance must be relevant to the hopes and aspirations of the people. As a member of our civil society, I believe that I am in a strategic position to create a non-partisan platform that must catalyze the transformation of our nation. Therefore, in the coming months, I will continue to reach out to the youth, to the civil society, to political parties, and, of course, to our traditional rulers. I urge you to join the Now movement and to participate actively in the creation of a new republic. For too long, we have lived in a country without any clear future. For too long, we have lived in a country where the people have no voice. For too long, we have lived in a country where the women have no choice. For too long, we have lived in a country where the poor and underprivileged have no chance. Together, we can direct the power. This power, we can direct it to succeed. Together, we can change our ways. Together, we can change our society. Together, we can change our country. And of course, ultimately, together, we can choose our leaders. Fellow Cameroonians, join our march towards the new republic. Join the Now movement. Be part of the change that 21st century Cameroon deserves. Join me and let us be part of the solution. Long live Cameroon.
An excerpt of the declaration speech there by Barrister Akeremuna, who has announced he will be a candidate in the 2018 presidential elections. Speculations are therefore on which political platform is he going to be. He is not yet a member of any political party. Can he be an independent candidate? It is the question our Yaoundé-based reporter Roland Akong posed to Hilaire Kamga. He is an election expert. Let's get this report.
Barrister Akeremuna has declared his candidacy for the 2018 presidential election in Cameroon. The story is dominating talks in the media and political circles, with comments going viral on the political manifesto of the man who for many years has been state lawyer and even considered by many as a friend of President Biya. Under which political party is Akere going to stand, or is he going to stand as an independent candidate in the 2018 presidential election? Hilaire Kamga, an expert in electoral affairs, helping us to learn more about these concerns, says any candidate vying for the office of the President of the Republic of Cameroon can be presented by a political party or obtain at least 300 signatures from the different regions of Cameroon to stand as an independent candidate. 30 signatures at least by region from local representatives. Kamga says it is an arduous task to have all the 300 signatures. Only political parties with elected representatives can present a candidate at the presidential election. International convention signed by Cameroon recognizes independent candidates for presidential election. Akeremuna is proposing better living conditions and appropriate solutions to the problems plaguing Cameroon at the moment if elected president in 2018.
In one of our lead stories, we told you how there have been massive arrests in the two English-speaking regions of Cameroon after October 1 protests in these regions. Massive arrests that took place, especially at the weekend, in Boya subdivision, precisely in Munya, in Mai 16, Mutengene. There have equally been arrests in Manfe, in Manu division, where there have been unrest since October 1. And some youth, especially young boys, are now in hiding after security forces invaded homes and arrested dozens. They were arrested last weekend in Munya, like we said. In Manfe, tension is still high with massive arrests going on. Meanwhile, Sola, the pregnant woman arrested in Limbe and brought to Boya together with her husband, is still in jail. Many families do not know the whereabouts of their children. The Mfundi community is in a sad mood following the passing away of one of their vocal patriarchs, Emile Onambele Zibi, who was the former president of Tonnerre Carrera Club of Yaoundé. He died at 12:30 a.m. this day. Roland Akon gauged the mood at his Febe residence and filed this report from Yaoundé.
At the Febe residence of Emile Onambele Zibi Monday, mourners are expressing anguish over his demise on the night of Sunday, breaking Monday. Emile Onambele Zibi, the patriarch of the Mfundi, is said to have died after a heart attack in the Yaoundé Emergency Center. A big loss to his relatives and friends, as well as his admirers in the world of sports and politics. Emile Onambele Zibi was a vocal Mfundi voice, addressing the concerns of his people, even though his detractors say he was sometimes controversial in saying outstanding things about national issues.
Je pense que je n'ai rien à rajouter à toute cette tristesse et à toute cette désolation.
Not only the Mfundi community is in shock over the demise of Onambele Zibi, he was a well-known personality in the world of sports, as he was president of Tonnerre Carrera Club of Yaoundé for several years before his death. Born in 1944 in Yaoundé, the Mfundi patriarch leaves behind 2 wives and many children to mourn him. The news of his demise has plunged into a state of shock and consternation his loved ones.
Let's now come back to the Littoral region, where plying the Pakuvita Bijou Makepe stretch of road is a veritable nightmare to road users. In the Douala 5 municipality, we are told potholes invaded by stagnant water is causing circulation difficult as vehicles have to move from bumper to bumper. Smart Jikan Gabriel.
It is very common to see vehicles taking the wrong part of the road in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. We are at Pakuvitha, heading towards Biju Makepe roundabout, situated in the Douala 5 municipality. The nature of the road calls for attention. When vehicles are on the wrong side of the road, there is always a way out for them not to go on a head-on collision with other rushing vehicles from opposite direction.
La route est tellement gâtée, vous ne vous observez pas. On ne sait même pas s'il y a les maires ici. Et le moment va arriver, maintenant ils vont courir. Allez, votez-moi, je vais changer.
Due to the degrading nature of the roads, apart from time being wasted by the vehicles, fuel is also lost to cover a very short distance. And for this, traffic congestion is inevitable during the rush hour period.
Now, transporting farm produce from the Ndoko village in the Mungo Division, Little region to Melong is a Herculean task to farmers. They have to brave the odds, just like those around Pakuvitha here in the economic capital, Douala. Farm produce have been unable to be taken to the several markets. Transport fare has increased, and some of their goods have had to be left in their respective farms. Our reporter Innocent Aze tells us that the locals are calling on local government authorities to do something before it gets to its worst.
Ndoku, a village situated about 15 kilometers from Melong in the Mungo division of the Littoral region. Agriculture is a principal activity in this locality. Lack of farm-to-market routes makes transportation of foodstuff or output cumbersome to farmers. They are compelled to transport farm produce on foot as vehicles and motorbikes are during the rainy season caught in the web of muddy roads.
Voitures ne peuvent pas arriver régulièrement chez nous.
A woman in labor will certainly give birth on the way before reaching Melong. The bad roads not only affect accessibility but equally prices of foodstuff. The products are bought at a cheaper cost as buyers have to spend more transporting them to town. The deplorable state of roads hindering commercial activities has been attributed to insufficient budget by Mayor Kwete Jean Rigolo of Melong Council.
À cette grande saison pluvieuse, qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire?
On the part of the population, they plead government comes to their aid by constructing good roads such that they can flexibly evacuate their goods from farms to markets. While waiting for the solution, life in Ndoku remains a challenge to inhabitants.
Construction of the Gynecobstetric Hospital in Bolova stands at 80%, but the Minister for Public Health, Andre Mamafuda, has told contractors to add more effort for its realization in due time. He was speaking during an inspection tour in Bolova recently. Innocent Aze, once again.
Public Health Minister Andre Mamafuda in Bolova South region to inspect the construction of a regional gynecobstetric and pediatric hospital. He is received by government administrative authorities of the South region. Minister Andre Mamafuda visits the project sites at the time when it stands at 80% realization rate, with engineers exercising their duties. Roofing of the health facility is expected to be realized a month from now.
We can receive the roof. We have a duplex, 1 month, but we hope that it's not the most important, because the most important for me is the quality of the project. And I recommend the contractor to organize the mobilization of the different workers to see with the Minister of Finance how you can do concerning the different containers that you have in the customs of the seaport Douala.
The Public Health Minister congratulated the contractors for quality work, but also exhorted them to revamp efforts to finish the projects.
To do the best, because it's important for the the end of this year to have the roof deliver and start the finishing of this best project. Then for me, that's good, and I encourage all of them to continue in this way.
Contractors have assured to move on with quality works till the Ebolova Regional Gynaeco-Obstetric and Pediatric Hospital is realized and handed over to the government.
That takes us to news out of Cameroon. At least 7 persons have died, several others injured during a huge explosion that rocked a fuel tanker in Ghana's capital, Accra. We have our reporter Catherine Kone with more.
The blast was overpowering as the population of Ghana looked at the wild flame and disbelieved. According to Ghana's government, a tanker caught fire at a gas filling station in Accra. The wild flame spread across the street to another gas station, triggering a second explosion. With fear and confusion, the people of Ghana ran for safety. This witness account say he was injured but succeeded to escape.
It was like a sound of a pipe,
The government of Ghana says many people were killed and several others injured in the explosion, but it is still unclear how many were involved. It should be noted that this isn't the first time Ghana is going through similar situation, as in 2015 a gas station killed at least 150 people.
We've come to the end of this day's edition of the Primetime Newscast on Equinox Television. Thanks for watching. The team joins me to say good night.